Hey guys, Dantics here, back with another Expanse video. Did you know that companions in the Expanse provide a lot more to the experience than they do in other sci-fi action RPGs like Mass Effect or Exodus? One of the reasons Mass Effect 2 was so beloved is that it had a huge focus on companions, so we know that well-crafted ones can make or break the game. If you missed it, I dropped a video recently running through all we know about the Expanse thanks to a new gameplay trailer and my time chatting with the devs, but I didn't go as in-depth with your companions and how they would work as I would have liked. So in this video, I'll first run through the different ways that they can function, I'll introduce you to all of your crew, and then I'll run through the details of exploring the environment, social skills, their unique skills, and much more. Let's get right into it. When heading into combat, you'll bring with you up to 2 companions. They'll banter and add their input during conversations. They'll also do this while you're exploring, similar to how companions are in Mass Effect. They'll have 2 abilities each. One is their signature ability, which activates when you command them, which is Q on the keyboard. You can also see the little hand icon below while in combat. The next ability is customizable. You can slot in any gadget you see fit. Each companion also comes with their own 3 skill paths. You get 4, but the 4th is leadership, and that centers around making your companions more powerful. They get a shooter, gadget, and survivalist path each, and the nodes within it are unique to the companion. For example, Jay, your twin, gets a node to change his environmental exploit ability, which I'll go through soon. Like you, they also have 2 exploration/social skills, which we'll go through soon as well. Finally, each character gets a personal passive. Jay gets Twin Bond, which increases your lowest skill check by 1, which was surprisingly useful. Don't worry, this will all make sense soon. Each individual weapon can be modified with many different choices of upgrades, like its own skill tree, and all your gadgets, your skills, can be upgraded as well. You can then equip these modified weapons and gadgets on your companions, and some of these mods will have exclusive benefits to companions. Then if we consider subsystems, which provide passive bonuses to further customize your character's roles, can also be upgraded and given to your companions, you can really understand how customizable your companions are, and even yourself. Though each companion has one unique subsystem that they can't unequip, but can level up. Oh, and I forgot there are 2 decoration slots as well for armor and helmet, which are purely cosmetic of course. Companions level up with you, as in there's a shared experience bar, and you'll see, for example, crew level 4 on the screen, meaning that you and your crew are level 4. So you gain combat and social level up points together. Now, the Expanse as a franchise does its best to ground itself in realism. It feels like it would be hard to make a team of interesting characters without aliens and magic. Owlcat has a lot of work ahead of him, but it seems like they're on the right track. The first companion you'll gain is Jay, who's your identical twin. Jay's gender and looks will be based on what character you've made. So if you make a male belter with dark skin, he'll be a male belter with dark skin. However, we do notice that there will be cosmetic differences, like hairstyles and facial hair. This is an interesting feature, letting you play the game with your sibling, something I wish they did in Andromeda. So Jay is said to have a personality of their own and is an impulsive but loyal right hand. In the ship, he or she will be your executive officer, or XO as many call the role. You'll start the game with them and events lead you to gaining a ship. Now, do I trust this whole situation? No, I feel like the fact you have a twin in the game is a bit sus. Will we die and have to take over control of the twin? Will the twin betray us? Will the twin die to add some emotional weight in a sacrifice moment? What is happening? On Jay's concept art, we see different jacket types based on if your background is the Belt, Earth, or Mars. He can be equipped with most weapons in combat and has a kind of scatter explosive shot for an ability, as well as a grenade, possibly incendiary, though you can swap out that second slot with gadgets as you see fit. Now, each companion has 2 social skills and 1 exploit, and I'll go through them after I've discussed all companions. It seems like the next companion you unlock is Safar Hijazi, a belter who helps you acquire and repair your ship to escape the station at the start of the game. Calm and collected, Safar uses his words carefully and can be surprisingly poetic when he does speak. He's a mechanical engineer and serves as such on your ship. We also see a scene where he's helping you pilot a drone, which is how he chooses to fight. In battle, he puts pressure on the enemies with deployable turrets and EMF devices that short out enemy equipment, leaving them vulnerable to attack. I foresee him being a kind of support character similar to Tali, with a few abilities to bring down defenses and drones to help distract. which is obvious considering that she's also an engineer. It's unclear in which order you get the rest of your companions, but let's move on from ship engineer to your ship's doctor, Theo Lee, a loud and boisterous combat medic who lost his medical license back on Earth and jokes that he was kicked out before he ever got to take the oath. So no doubt he wouldn't have been your first choice as doctor, but perhaps you don't have many options. In combat, his tough armor and experimental stimulants make him a surprisingly aggressive threat. The way I understand this is that he's a supportive tanky character until he uses his stimulants, then can switch to a more DPS role. I'd be extremely surprised if he couldn't heal you in combat in some way, if that wasn't a sort of gear that you could give him, but I am fairly certain that his unique ability is a kind of roid rage. Now, no space RPG would be complete without two hotties on the team, Regina and Michael. Starting with Regina Marek, who will function as the ship's liaison officer. In combat, she'll be the team's sniper scout and expert infiltrator. Regina's guarded personality makes it tricky to piece together her true past and agenda, but it's clear she sees your character as a valuable ally on her mysterious quest. She seems to be a Martian, and based on her introduction, she's going to take a while to warm up to you. A little effort though, and it may be her turn to get scared of your little gun.
Surely a little gun doesn't scare you.
I wonder if she has a background in espionage, which would explain her looks and combat ability. She seems to be the only sniper on your team. She's likely a sit back and pick enemies and cover off with precision kind of character. Michael DiGamo, the ship's gunner, is sure to be a favorite as well. After growing disillusioned with the UN military and then private security too, this beefy soldier chose the mercenary life. He's principled and troubled by past tragedy, though not so much of either that he wouldn't happily charge into the thick of things with a shield and shoulder-mounted autocannon. So he's going to be a gruff ex-Earther soldier and merc who may take some prodding before revealing too much about his past. We've seen how shields and shoulder-mounted autocannons work in the reveal trailer, and it lends credence to Michael being your more traditional tank, getting in and drawing aggro for you, though I'm sure he can put out damage too. Alicia Young is next, and she's the ship's electronic warfare specialist. Every sci-fi crew needs a snarky hacker, right? Having abandoned corporate life to become a free agent, Alicia seeks out complicated problems and unsolvable enigmas to push her brain to the limits, while deploying drones and subverting enemy systems in battle. So it seems like she'll be an ex-Earther corpo with a bit of an attitude that may come off as charming if written and acted well. Safar seems more like a support in combat, while Alicia gives me more Sentinel vibes, putting out some damage by shortening systems. I foresee her and Safar's drones having very different roles. Finally, we have Polly Hart, our ship girl, which is basically an assistant to someone important, probably you. This youthful, optimistic and chatty belter yearns to prove herself and achieve something truly great. In a fight, she provides combat support, armored enough to take a hit, but mobile enough with her submachine gun to lay down a steady stream of mid-range covering fire. So she can take a hit, but seems to function more as a traditional DPS, not needing to get shotgun range close, but still closer than Regina. If you need damage on your team, I'm guessing she'll have you covered. Now those are all the reveal companions, and we're fairly sure that they're all the companions you'll have access to, though it isn't confirmed. You may also get more non-combat focused ones for your ship. The devs say, your companions are more than just mission assets. They are people with their own scars and loyalties. Some chase redemption, others hide truce. Over time, your relationships will flourish or deteriorate depending on the choices you make and how you choose to lead. The ship becomes your home, a place where trust is earned, not given. So not everyone will be happy with every decision you make, and we can see from the companions revealed that they would all have entirely different motivations. But that's not the extent of your companions. Each companion, when brought with you to combat, can influence the world in some way. Littered about the environments are what the devs call combat opportunities. For example, here we see a crate acting as cover and Jay using his precision exploit ability to take it out. You highlight over the icon and the companion's portrait would appear, letting you activate it. Alicia, for example, in the same situation would not be able to use this exploit as hers is different. So let's go through the 4 different exploit types. Both Jay and Regina have access to precision, which allows them to identify and take a shot at vulnerable points in the environment. For example, blowing up an explosive object, making acid rain down from above, or causing a structure to collapse on an enemy's head. Both Michael and Polly have access to demolition, which is less subtle than precision, directly destroying terrain and particularly wiping out enemy cover, forcing them into the open. Both Safar and Theo get access to malfunction, which makes electrical systems go haywire with potentially deadly consequences. This means damage to enemies around electrical objects, so this is a way for support-like characters to put out some contextual damage. Finally, Alicia is the only one that can use cyber attack, which completely takes over electrical systems and turns them against the enemy. I'm not sure if this is like Mass Effect where you can control drones and the like, or more like you're able to do some strange things like swing a crane around and whack some enemies off a bridge, but being the only one revealed that can use cyber attack, she may be valuable to balance your team. It's unclear if you ever want to put two crewmates with the same exploit on a team together and if that will double up their effects, but there is another way to customize how you play. Note that your crew can change their exploit ability. Jay, for example, can change precision to malfunction in one of his skill trees, so there might be someone else that can use cyber attack. Also, depending on the mission, there will be unique environmental exploits. In the Pinkwater demo, you'll see the ship raining down PDC fire on enemies. That is because of Jafar, and this support is unique to the area since he's currently in the ship just parked outside. But that's not all. Each crew member also has access to 2 social skills. You'll also pick 2 social skills from 6 at character creation: Persuasion, Athletics, Cyber Sabotage, Perception, Analysis, and Engineering. Social skills work both in the environment and in conversations. An example is Athletics, which helps you push big objects out in the environment if you meet the required amount. The total amount needed can be reached by a combination of you and your 2 crewmates who you can bring along with you on a mission, though you can just use stimulants to increase your social skills to help you meet a check. During the beta mission, you can move a big crate if you have 1 in Athletics. However, as it turns out, Jay has 1 in Athletics already, so you can do it without investment. You both start pushing the crate together when activated. There might also be cases where you need 2 or more to meet a check, and having crew with you when you need to meet those checks will contribute towards if you can do them or not. So having Michael and Jay on your team who both have Athletics as a social skill will mean you have a high enough Athletics check. In conversations, these social skills will also play a part. Athletics, for example, may help you disarm someone who pulled a gun on you, and engineering will help you convince someone of your technical knowledge. It seems like your crew will contribute towards these checks as well, though we haven't seen how persuasion can affect things in conversations so far. It's too hard to speculate what exact social skills your companions will have. We only know for sure that Jay, at least with the character you made, has Athletics and Perception. Not sure if Jay's social skills will change based on yours. It would be fun to customize your character first, then Jay. Now, we've seen a lot of combat and know that you can bring 2 companions with you at a time. One will show to the left of your UI and one to the right. Displayed is their armor, health, and 2 abilities. We see, for example, Michael using Incendiary Grenade with thrusters, which ends up doing about the same amount of damage as the player character's grenade, meaning that companions will not be nerfed in terms of damage. This is the gadget we have attached to him, and it would be odd if the damage gets nerfed when he equips it versus when you do. We can see that when a companion shoots this enemy, it does similar damage to what you would do before we blast them away with the shotgun at least. As mentioned, it's confirmed that we can invest in the leadership skill tree, which will focus on making our companions stronger and more effective, so yes, you can be a battlefield commander in this game, and no, your companions won't be just there for you to add effects to combo off. As mentioned, they are just as powerful as you, or stronger with investment. Finally, let's talk about romances. It's confirmed there will be romances, and they will be rather in-depth. You won't be unlocking these romances mechanically. As the devs say, you won't be giving them gifts and seeing +30 to loyalty appear on the screen, which means you're going to have to conversationally and through your choices earn their affection. The devs say they paid close attention to getting romances right, so I remain hopeful. They also mentioned that not everyone can be romanced, so it's unclear who can be and by which gender. Can a female, for example, romance Regina? I don't have the answer for you. When I get concrete evidence, I'll be sure to let you know so we don't end up in a Cyberpunk 2077 situation where you've spent a lot of time trying to charm Judy only to realize much later that only a female can. I don't want you to have to endure a boring dive through poisoned water only to get ghosted when you wake up from a coma. And that's everything. What do you think? Are you excited for the Expanse's companions? Let me know below. If you enjoy these kinds of videos, you know what to do. Until next time, ciao friends.